my name is Emma, and today we're talking about Shadowhunters episode 2, titled The Descent to Hell Isn't Easy. First of all, can we just talk about how they fucked up even the title? The Descent to Hell isn't easy. What's my line? The Descent to Hell is easy. That is the motto of the Shadowhunters. I get they were trying to do like a little play on words or play on whatever with the title, but no. Just one thing correctly. That's all I wanted. Just one thing, and you can't even do it. We're going to follow the same format as my last discussion. If you want to see all of my thoughts on the pilot, I will link that below. For those of you who have yet to watch episode 2 of Shadowhunters, I'm slightly more impressed, but like I went up just like a little bit when the show started, and then like throughout the story it was just down and down and down, and I don't even know where I stand with the show at the moment. There were some very slight improvements. I had a few good lines that I liked, and like I saw a little bit more from all of the characters, but so much went wrong. Oh my god. Somebody commented on my last discussion, I forget who it was, but somebody said that they were using the movie City of Bones as the basis for the TV show instead of the book City of Bones. And it was like, oh my god, you put it into words. There's just so much wrong, guys. I don't even know how I'm going to go through this discussion with actually talking about coherent thoughts about it, because all I just want to be is just why, what is going on, what's happening here, what even is this, am I watching Disney Channel? How do I even give my thoughts without spoiling anything? There are some references to the books, which could have been great, but they cut out everything. They just cut it out at the last moment, and it makes it totally irrelevant. So I'm going to go into the specific examples of that when I talk about the spoilery section of this video. The only thing I can really say is there are little improvements by episode 2. So I'm just hoping over the course of the season there's going to be like big improvements, or like these little improvements are going to amount to a big improvement from the pilot. But there were also so many things that were done incorrectly and badly in the second episode that really, those little improvements don't mean much at the moment. That's really all I can say without spoiling it, so if you haven't watched Shadowhunters episode 2 and you don't want to get spoiled, I'd recommend leaving now. Bye, non-spoiler people! So surprisingly, again, I'm starting off with a positive thing. One of the first quotes in the show is when Jace, Simon, and Clary are all talking together, and Simon is all confused because he doesn't really understand what's going on, like the rest of us watching this TV show. So Simon says, Clary, is there a war going on that I don't know about? And Jace goes, there is now. And then Clary goes, and I think my mother is at the center of it. And honestly, I really liked that line. I feel like I could see Cassandra Clare writing something similar to it. Of course, it's still too cheesy for Cassandra Clare to actually write it, but it gave me kind of the same feeling that I get when I do read quotes in the Mortal Instruments, so I thought that that was a really nice addition. Of course, Simon is killing it in episode 2 again. I'm tough. I can handle runes. He's so perfect. He's literally saving the show. Like, Alberto Rosende, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the first interaction between Simon and Izzy, except for that so hot thing. What? Yes, Simon makes a fool of himself over Izzy until like book 3. It's very clear. He makes a fool of himself throughout the entire series in front of Izzy. Let me rephrase that. But he would never say that out loud. That's not Simon. Why? But the way they first interact, I don't know, it just made me feel like I was watching Simon and Izzy, which is super important. I feel like they're definitely progressing the whole Sizzy thing way too fast. There's a quote in City of Bones when Simon says that he was just making a fool of himself in front of Izzy to make Clary jealous. And I kind of wish we saw that, because now it's like, ooh, Isabel, shiny new toy. Like, what's Clary? Who's Clary? You know what I mean? And so there's that other scene where Simon and Izzy are sitting and they're eating and they're just talking, and like parts of that were really, really good. And parts of it were really, really shit. I'm so on and off about everything in this TV show. Like, this whole show is an entire walking contradiction. And it's making me a contradiction because I'm saying I'm liking things, but I don't actually like them. What is going on? You know, like, Izzy doesn't really flirt with Simon in the first book. Yes, she likes the attention because she's Isabel, but she doesn't really, like, flirt back and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm, like, kind of happy with their relationship, but I do think it's going too fast. I think all of their relationships are going too fast, which is a very common thing that I've been hearing. I'm so happy they included Izzy's terrible cooking in this episode, though. I was so scared that, like, little things like that make the book so special were going to be forgotten, and they kept in that Izzy can't cook, and while Jace's lines were, of course, terrible at that part, and they had so much potential, but it didn't work out. But I'm really happy they included Izzy's terrible cooking. There definitely is a lot more humor in the pilot. Like, there were times when I was laughing out loud at the show because of the lines and because of the things that were going on, as opposed to how terrible it was, like I was in the pilot. So I'm hoping that more of those, like, classic Cassie Clare comic relief lines are gonna come through in the future episodes. Of course, like the pilot, everything is rushed again. I really don't understand why Jace was explaining to Clary Hodge's whole situation as to why he can't leave the Institute. Like, that was where we really learned about Hodge in the books, and I feel like now he's just like kind of like some side character. What the fuck is this red crayon glowing mark? What is this? When I say that there's a lot of unnecessary changes in the series, this is an unnecessary change. This is Exhibit A of unnecessary changes. In the books, the curse is invisible. We don't see the curse until the end of City of Bones. And so why do they take the time to draw on this stupid rune and make it glow and burn and add this sizzling noise? Like, what is the point of that? It would have been so much easier to just keep it like it was in the books, but oh well, it was in the books, so I guess we can't put it in the TV show. The dramatic gasp and fall when it starts burning him, oh my god. I know I was kind of happy with Dom Sherwood in the first episode, but I'm way more disappointed in the second episode. Just the delivery is horrible. It's not even that he has horrible lines, because potentially they could be okay Jace lines. Like I don't think we will ever get an accurate representation of Jace on screen, but I feel like the lines that he has some potential to capture that sass and like arrogance and rudeness that Jace has, and it's just the delivery is like so not there. The point of it is he's just too nice. He just acts like Clary is such a burden in book 1, and now he's like, she's one of us now, like we have to protect her, like we're a team. Like, no! One thing I did really like is that conversation that Clary and Isabel were having. I can't remember exact lines, but it was when Isabel was like, is this a part where I give you the pep talk about pursuing your inner destiny? And Clary was like, was that the pep talk? Like, that interaction, it definitely is more Izzy and Clary in the end of this series, but I really, really liked it because it coincided with their characters. What I didn't like, oh my god, don't even get me started on this part. This one part when Clary is like, don't you have anything a little less revealing or whatever it is? And she's like, all the naughty bits are covered. Too much in my opinion. Like, when did confidence become skanky? I don't understand why she's basically naked in this episode. Like, is pasties gonna be her new shadow hunting gear? Why? What happened to my Isabel Lightwood? What happened to the girl in book 3 who wears her hair in French braids with bows at the bottom and a traveling cloak? Even Cassandra Clare agrees that Izzy's clothes are way too revealing, and I just want to understand why they're adding this part of her character. Izzy is supposed to be such a great representation of females in YA literature because she's strong and confident, and they're making her look like a slut. Yes, she dates around and she flirts and kisses boys, but like, why does she have to be half naked? I don't get it. We saw more of Alec in this episode than we did in the pilot, but I'm still really not impressed with him. There's no tone in his voice whatsoever. And Alec is a great character in City of Bones because he's going through this internal conflict that shows with his anger at Clary. And there's no anger at Clary, it's just indifference. He's so monotoned, he has no expression on his face, like at least frown. God. Matthew Daddario, you are beautiful, but go be a model, because acting is clearly not your thing. Okay, let's talk about this whole witchlight Dumbledore quote thingy. The point of a witchlight is not to remind us that even in the dark we can find the light. No, it is so that you can fucking see. It's because technology and all that stuff doesn't work when there's Shadowhunter wards and stuff around. That's why everything is produced by witchlight. Why? Why? I don't get it. I haven't gotten to the thing that annoys me most about this episode. I will get to that later. But the second most thing that annoys me is that they have some really great references to the books where they could have put in exact quotes, and every single time they cut them off for no reason. For example, when everyone is in Pandemonium and they're talking about going to the Silent Brothers to revive Clary's memories, Jace is like, I'm not scared of the Silent Brothers, which is a quote from the book. And I'm like, oh my god, here comes the librarian quote, here comes the librarian quote. And it didn't come. When they're in the City of Bones and Jace is like playing with Clary that it's like Shadowhunters looking better in black than the widows of her enemies, where's the end of that quote? It's not even that the since 12,034 is significant in any way. It's just the fact that they cut it off. It's like the producers and writers of the show are actively trying to separate every actual connection that this TV show has from the books. And I don't understand why these books are so successful, and there's 6 of them, and then there's 3 more, and there's gonna be another 3 more, and another 3 more, and another series, and you're only gonna have one season. Like, I'm just telling you this now. It's not gonna get past season 2 if it gets past season 1. I was really excited for the City of Bones scene because when I was looking through all the promo pictures and stuff, it looked really good. It looks like a City of Bones. But of course, the way it was filmed was very bad. I was really happy with the way that the Silent Brothers looked, but in that scene where, like, they first step into the City of Bones and, like, all of the torches are lighting up and they light up each Silent Brother's face one at a time, their faces looked so plastic and doll-like, and it wasn't creepy like it could have been. I feel like the City of Bones scene was okay. They just weren't that level of creepy that the Silent Brothers actually are. At least I kept in the fact that the Silent Brothers speak through your mind. I just feel like even that effect wasn't at the level of intensity that could have been. The movie did it perfectly. But in the show, the voices, like, the recording just doesn't sound like it's good quality. Like, it sounded like I could have done this with, like, my torrented version of Sony Vegas 8. It really just, it wasn't at the level that it could have been. And now we get to the worst part of the entire show. And this is the last thing I'm going to be able to talk about because I stopped paying attention at this point because I was so pissed off. Why are we announcing in episode 2 that Valentine is Clary's father? What? Literally, Clary found out about Valentine hours ago. Why is he her father already? The whole point of that gigantic plot twist of Valentine being Clary's father is that he was this kind of, like, anonymous, no-faced ghost that was going through the series, and he was doing so much destruction and he ruined her mother's life, and we don't know any of this yet. Like, it would have been so much more intense and shocking if we had learned all about the circle and all about what Valentine has done and all about what Valentine's planning to do. But all we know is that he's killing mundanes for their blood. That's all. They mentioned the circle for like 2 seconds, and it's just, oh my god, I'm stopping in the middle of, like, every single thought because I'm just so flabbergasted by this executive decision. Since when has it been okay for an adaptation to spoil the ending of a book before the series basically starts? When? Who? What? I basically stopped paying attention at this point. In my opinion, there's absolutely no redemption for the show at this point. I have zero respect for these producers and writers for spoiling the ending, even though I clearly know the ending because I've read the book 7 times. But I'm just so disappointed with how poor all of these decisions are. Like, there was going to be a decent way for them to follow the main plot line of the book and, you know, change the characters a little bit and change the dialogue and add new things in and take some things out, but they didn't have to completely change the course of the story so early. I'm really disappointed. I'm really upset. I really don't even want to finish watching Shadowhunters at this point, but I feel like I have to. The only other thing that I took in from the end of this episode was that Simon gets taken by the vampires, and another thing that's taken out of place of the books. You wanted some really good Sizzy action? Remember when Simon drinks the drink so that he can impress Izzy, and then he turns into a rat and then gets taken by the vampires? What happened to that? That would have been perfect, besides the stupid "so hot" line. I think it was a good way to end an episode. I just think it was a poor place for them to put that in. Again, they're moving too fast. We just announced that Valentine is Clary's father, and now Clary's best friend is gone, and we have no time to process his information. There's like 13 episodes of season 1, so that's like 13 hours that they have to stretch out this timeline and make some scenes way more elaborate and specific and intense. The movie followed the correct plotline of the book in 2 hours, so why can't Freeform do it in 13? I don't know. As you can tell, I'm very mad. I really have nothing else to say on this episode because I'm so angry about Valentine again, and I can't even think at the moment. Those are all of my thoughts on episode 2 of Shadowhunters. Leave me your comments. I'd love to know if you really did think that episode 2 was better and why, and what you think the course of the show is going to be like, and if you're as upset as I am with a lot of these things. I would love to know that I'm not alone. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!